Have you ever noticed that some of the things that feel the best in the moment often make your life worse in the long run? And some of the things that feel difficult, boring, or even painful today end up creating the happiest people tomorrow? That's because happiness and pleasure are not the same thing. Hi, this is Wisdom Sister. Welcome to my channel. Today, I'm here to haunt you, but in a fun and friendly way, so you can become the best version of yourself. Let's continue. Most people spend their entire lives chasing pleasure while wondering why happiness never seems to arrive. It's like drinking salt water when you're thirsty. You keep consuming because more feels like it should solve the problem, but somehow you end up needing even more. Let's talk about the difference between happiness and pleasure, why most people confuse them, and why learning to prioritize happiness over instant gratification might be one of the most important decisions you'll ever make. Pleasure is the fast food of human experience. It's immediate. It's the reward your brain receives right now. Pleasure says, I want it. I want it now. I don't care about tomorrow. Pleasure is eating the entire pizza. Pleasure is scrolling social media for 2 hours. It's buying something you cannot afford. It's getting drunk on a Tuesday because it's been a stressful week. Which is funny because it's only Tuesday. Pleasure is not evil. That's important to understand. The problem isn't pleasure itself. The problem is when pleasure becomes your primary decision making system. Because pleasure has one major weakness. It only cares about the present moment. Your future self is not invited to the meeting. Happiness is the return on investment. Let's talk about it. It's different because happiness is less about feeling good and more about living well. Pleasure asks, how do I feel right now? Happiness asks, am I becoming the person I want to be? Pleasure is eating the donut. Happiness is being healthy enough to play with your children 20 years from now. Pleasure is staying in bed. Happiness is building a life that makes you excited to get off your bed. Pleasure is spending money. Happiness is financial freedom. Pleasure is avoiding difficult conversation. Happiness is having meaningful relationships. Notice something interesting? Pleasure is usually immediate. Happiness is usually delayed. That's why so many people struggle to choose it. Let's use the gym because everyone loves gym examples. Actually, nobody loves gym examples. That's kind of the point. Imagine two people. Person number one skips workouts because they don't feel motivated. Person number two goes anyway. Who experiences more pleasure today? Person number one, no question. They're at home watching Netflix while the other person is sweating under fluorescent lighting, wondering why humans invented squats. But fast forward 5 years. One person has energy, confidence, and strength, and better health, and probably a six-pack. The other has accumulated 5 years of comfort and very little progress, and is probably fat. The person who sacrificed pleasure gained happiness. The person who chased pleasure sacrificed happiness. This pattern repeats everywhere. Why? Because modern society is optimized for pleasure. Here's where things get dangerous. We live in the most pleasure-rich environment in human history. Food is delivered instantly. Entertainment is unlimited. Validation arrives through notifications. You can distract yourself from almost any uncomfortable emotion within seconds. Feeling lonely? Open an app. Feeling bored? Open an app. Feeling anxious? Open an app. Feeling overwhelmed? Believe it or not, open another app. The challenge is that your brain evolved for survival, not fulfillment. Your brain constantly searches for easy rewards. It doesn't naturally distinguish between what's good for you and what's merely enjoyable. That's your job. The problem with pleasure is that it tends to escalate. What excited you yesterday becomes normal today. Psychologists call this hedonic adaptation. Humans adapt surprisingly fast. The new phone becomes just a phone. The promotion becomes just your job. The luxury car becomes just transportation. The exciting relationship becomes routine. Pleasure fades. And that's what pleasure does. You need more of it to achieve the same emotional effect. Happiness works differently. Happiness often grows through meaning, purpose, competence, connection, and personal growth. These things don't usually lose value with time. In many cases, they become more valuable. Before we go any further, we need to talk about dopamine, because dopamine might be one of the most misunderstood chemicals on the internet. Most people think dopamine is the happiness chemical. It isn't. Dopamine is more accurately described as the anticipation chemical. It's what drives you to pursue a reward. Think about this: the excitement before ordering food, the urge to check your phone, the anticipation of a text message, the desire to place a bet, the temptation to have just one more drink. That's dopamine at work. Your brain isn't rewarding happiness, it's motivating pursuit. And here's where things get interesting. Your brain often releases more dopamine while anticipating a reward than while actually receiving it. That's why the chase can become so addictive. The next notification, the next purchase, the next promotion, the next relationship, the next weekend, the next vacation, the next drink, the next hit of stimulation. Many people spend their entire lives trapped in a cycle of chasing dopamine spikes while never asking whether the rewards they're pursuing are actually improving their lives. In other words, they're optimizing for excitement instead of fulfillment. And those are very different goals. We have to be aware of the invisible cost of instant gratification. One of the greatest dangers of pleasure is that it hides the bill. The cost doesn't arrive immediately. If every unhealthy choice came with an instant consequence, life would be much easier. Imagine eating a box of donuts and immediately gaining 20 pounds. Nobody will do it. Imagine wasting 6 hours scrolling social media and instantly losing a year of your life. You throw your phone into the ocean. The reason instant gratification is so powerful is because the reward arrives immediately, while the consequences arrive later. And when later finally arrives, most people fail to connect the outcome to the decisions that created a disappointing career, financial stress, poor health, broken relationships, a lack of purpose. These outcomes rarely appear overnight. They are often the result of thousands of small decisions made in favor of pleasure instead of growth. So, before you leave this video, I want you to think about one question. What is the pleasure you are currently defending that might be preventing your future happiness? Maybe it's alcohol, maybe it's social media, maybe it's procrastination, maybe it's constant spending, maybe it's avoiding difficult conversations, maybe it's simply choosing comfort every time growth asks something of you. Be honest, because your future is being shaped by what you repeatedly choose today, not occasionally, but on repeat. The life you want isn't hiding behind some secret strategy. It's hiding behind the decisions you are avoiding. And the truth is, 10 years from now, nobody will care about the extra episode you watch. Nobody will care about the notification you checked. Nobody will care about the impulse purchase you made. But you will care about the person you became. You will care about your health. You will care about your relationships. You will care about the opportunities you either created or ignored. And now, the reason you're here. You want to know about the happiness formula. If you want a simple framework, here it is. Choose the option that your future self will thank you for. That's it. Your future self will thank you for exercising, will thank you for saving money, for learning skills, for having difficult conversations, for staying disciplined when nobody was watching. Because happiness isn't usually found in comfort. It's found in the rewards created by consistent effort. At the end of the day, pleasure feels good. Happiness creates a good life. Pleasure is a moment. Happiness is a direction. Pleasure asks for consumption. Happiness asks for growth. And every day, whether you realize it or not, you're casting votes for one or the other. The question is not whether you'll experience pleasure. You should. The question is whether pleasure is serving your life or whether your life is serving your pleasure. Because one of those paths leads to temporary satisfaction, but the other leads to a life you'll actually be proud of living. Remember, my goal as a life coach is to help you design the best life possible through the ideas and insights that we explore here. I want these videos to feel real, organic, and honest, without unnecessary edits or distractions. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and subscribe. For one-on-one coaching, find more information in the description box. See you in the next video!